What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our Week 2 Team Builder here in the PRD, the Pokemon Remastered Draft, over here in Goons Gaming Remastered. This is our Week 2 opponent. We are taking on my boy James and the Myrtle Magikarps from over in the NPBF. He's over here as well, and fun fact, you'll be seeing plenty of him this week because we are also playing him for Week 6 of the NPBF, which is really, really cool. So, it works out conveniently. I'm really excited about it as always, because playing James is a lot of fun. But this is going to be a tough test, to say the very least, because James' team is incredibly powerful. He has the G-Max Butterfree, Yveltal, Kartana, Gyarados, Mew, Porygon 2, Volcanion, Goodra, Jellicent, Aromatisse, Dugtrio, the Cantonian Dugtrio, with no Arena Trap, and Dynamax Captain Lucario. Now, as far as his Max Captain goes, could see it go either way. However, against my team, genuinely believe that like a G-Max Butterfree with the Max Airstreams, potential for the Befuddles, as well as having the grass coverage to hit Kyogre, I think might just be a little bit more than what the Lucario might be able to deliver. I think my team has plenty of ways of dealing with Lucario. Both on the physical and special side, so I don't think that Lucario is the most likely of his maxing mons to show up in this one. I definitely think Butterfree is much more likely, but we shall see. But a couple things that are very, very terrifying. Of course, the Kartana. Kartana is a steamroller that, if we allow it to get going, is just going to run our whole team over, and that's not acceptable. We have put plenty of prep into trying to make sure the Kartana cannot do that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to prevent any and all Kartana-based shenanigans from causing us any mischief. The big problem thing is obviously it makes Kyogre a little bit less useful, I guess. But I think it'll be fine. Mew, the Swiss Army knife of Pokemon, is going to be a problem. Mostly just due to the fact that it can literally do whatever it wants. So trying to figure out what his Mew set is going to be very important during the course of the matchup. Other than that, things like Gyarados can set up. Porygon 2 is incredibly fat. Volcanion acts as like a little bit of kind of counter to our Kyogre in a sense, not like a perfect one because we have ways to beat it. Jellicent makes Kartana struggle a little bit more. Goodra is a good wall for Kyogre. That's one thing that's going to be a big problem to get over. You'll see me more or less kind of almost ignore Goodra completely in our team build, so that's fun. Dugtrio, speed-wise, is a problem, but realistically, without Arena Trap, it's not that good. And then that pretty much covers all like the major threats, things that are going to be issues, but excuse me. So let's just go over what we have, and we can kind of discuss, what the plan is against him, and see how we're feeling. First thing we're bringing, 100%, I knew going into this matchup, as soon as I saw Kartana, I was like, alright, I'm bringing Weezing. Weezing is one of our initial switch-ins to Kartana. This thing is not 2-KO'd by Banded Kartana, I believe, I don't know if we calculated for Bandit or SD, but we're not 2-KO'd. No, we're not 2-KO'd by Bandit, and SD cannot OHKO us, even with a crit. That's what I was able to gather from what I remember. So that's good to have. That's good knowledge to have. So that's pretty good. We have Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, Pain Split, and Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is incredibly crucial, obviously, because we can either burn the Kartana, which, depending on the set that we see that he has, if he's, like, choiced in some way, if we see that he's choiced, then burning him might be better. But if he is SD, then we will go straight for the Flamethrower and OHKO the thing, and not worry about it from there, because that's realistically going to be the biggest and scariest problem that can come from it, is just the simple fact that he is, it can snowball that quickly. So we're going to try to avoid that at all costs. Hopefully we can. Fingers crossed. I mean, realistically, it's not the worst thing in the world if he does snowball. Like, we can still OHKO this thing. Like, that's the thing with Kartana, is it's like, if it's snowballing attack-wise, unless he's scarfed, we have things that outspeed it and OHKO it. If he's not scarfed, then we have things that can outspeed it and OHKO it. And if he is like the speed boosting Kartana set, he does a lot less damage initially, and that makes it so that Weezing can wall it even better. So it's pretty much like, I'm not super worried about Kartana. We have plenty of ways of dealing with Kartana. It's just like, there's always that fear because Ultra Beasts are so ridiculously scary, So we'll see how this goes. But Sludge Bomb is there for stab. We can potentially get poisons off on things, which is never bad. Pain Split for recovery, because we're going to need it against this team. And then, of course, the Will-O-Wisp, which could be useful against other mons, just to get extra chip damage and whatnot. Weezing's going to be hopefully going to be a very crucial member to this matchup. Next up, we have our boy Suzaku, the Tapu Koko, rocking the Magnet, Thunderbolt, Defog, Nature's Madness, and U-Turn. Defog was a last-minute addition that I had. I originally just had Volt Switch on there to kind of run the double this week, because there's no case of, like, I can just Volt Switch all over his team if he doesn't have Dugtrio. But I have the U-Turn, so it doesn't really matter. I don't need the Volt Switch at all. Thunderbolt does plenty to a lot of his team. Magnet boosted max special attack Thunderbolt does crazy damage to things like Butterfree and Yveltal. Nukes through Kartana, which is sad. Very sad that I can nuke through a grass type with my electric type. It's important for Gyarados and Volcanion and Jellicent and whatnot. Which I think honestly might be a reason for him to bring Dugtrio. Realistically, I think he probably will bring Dugtrio, just for that case. But anyways, we have the Defog because Mew can stack a whole bunch of hazards, and Dugtrio can set rocks. I just wanted Defog because I knew I added the Defog because you'll see later on, like, the last mon that I added to the team is weak to rocks, and we only had one mon weak to rocks before I added it, and then we had two. So from there I was like, alright, I need to have something to get rid of hazards. I'm not walking in with two rocks weak mons and then have him actually bring rocks on Mew, or bring the Dugtrio for rocks, and have me getting chipped down the whole game because I didn't bring Defog on something. So we do have Defog here. Nature's Madness is going to be important because I can kind of gauge his switch-ins and get some very good chip damage on a lot of things. And U-Turn for momentum. So we went speed creep-wise. We didn't speed creep Dugtrio because there's no point to it. because it can't have arena traps. So it's not like we have to outspeed it to get out of there and away from it. We don't have to outspeed Dugtrio. We can just hard switch on Dugtrio. We have plenty of things to hard switch into, so it's not a problem. We have Weezing, which we can go right into very easily. We have one other mon on our team that's immune to ground we can go into. We have options. We have plenty of options. So, not too worried about that. And then we just went max special attack and gave this thing as much bulk as we could in its HP. So, pretty good stuff. Next up, we have defensive Seaman the Kyogre with the sub-toxic Surf Thunder leftover set. Basically, I determined that this team can get beaten by sub-toxic Kyogre. Things like Jellicent are problematic. We can sub in front of things like Jellicent. We can sub in front of Volcanion. We can sub in front of Porygon 2. We can sub in front of Gyarados if it's not boosted, I believe. No, we can't sub in front of Gyarados. It's not boosted. Well, we might be able to. I'll have to rerun the calcs again, but I think we might be able to. Depends. But yeah, there's a lot of things we can sub in front of. And then once we get the sub up, a lot of things can't break the sub. Porygon, with the special defense investment, Porygon 2, if it doesn't have 4 special attack investment, yeah, it only needs 4 to have a chance. But if it doesn't have 4 special attack investment, it does not break our sub. So that's cool. But if it does have 4, then it has like a 0.6% chance to break the substitute. Which is whatever. Because I think the roll for Thunderbolt is like 20.9 to like 25.2% or something like that. Like, it's such a small roll for them to potentially break our sub. It's ridiculous. But Jellicent can't break our sub with Nightshade because they'll be doing 100 damage, and we will have subs that are 101, which is very nice. Then, yeah, and Volcanion just can't break the sub because it doesn't do enough damage to it. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, Kyogre is a beast against this team. Surf and Thunder just do so much damage. Thunder just nukes things like Butterfree as well. Forcing a lot of things to try to break the sub before they can do anything, and then they have to take a Thunder or a Surf, which they will not appreciate. Like, this thing is so bulky. I love Ubers because they're so bulky that you can just kind of build them bulky and invalidate a lot of mons, which is nice. So that's pretty much the goal with Kyogre. Just be bulky, sit behind the sub, and just toxic stall all the things that wall it, and then proceed to let the rest of the team kind of just win. So Seaman is going to put in a lot of work for sure in this one. Next up, making its debut alongside Shu this week is our favorite fiery demon, EA. EA is here, the Galarian Moltres, weakness policy, Berserk, ability, Air Slash, Fiery Wrath, Substitute, and Agility. So, I have personally dealt with and been victimized by a Galarian Moltres. As you guys saw in our match against Jamin in JLPC. So, because of that, drafting it here was essential. And now I'm going to try to do it to someone else. There are a lot of mons that do not do that much damage to us with super effective hits, but they have to go for the super effective hits because it's the most damaging thing. Things like Goodra, things like Dugtrio with the Rock Slider Stone Edge. Which, by the way, even a Stone Edge crit doesn't kill us, which is cool. Lucario would have to go for super effective coverage against us. Yveltal doesn't really have anything super effective coverage-wise against us, which is nice. Kartana doesn't either, which is cool. Gyarados with like Ice Fang or something. And Mew with whatever coverage it sets to run. So like a lot of things are going to have to go for super effective moves. Oh, also Aromatisse with Moonblast. But that's just falling into my trap. I get the agility up. And then I get smacked by the super effective move of their choice. And then I win. So, okay. Speed-wise, I ran enough speed on this thing to outpace the base 70s and below. Because it works out that way, that I just can outspeed Butterfree and Volcanion and stuff if they're max speed with this spread. But then once I get an agility up, I am faster than a Choice Scarfed Kartana as well. So, and that's the fastest mon that I expect him to run Scarfed. Could potentially see Scarfed Dougie, but I doubt it. It doesn't do enough damage against my team to really be worth it, so I doubt to see that happen. Excuse me. But yes, with its natural bulk and its just and agility up, this thing will be able to tank a super effective hit, get its weakness policy boost, and proceed to run a train on James's entire roster, which is nice. So that's cool. With just Fiery Wrath and Air Slash, we can really just do a number to the team. Plus the potential for Air Slash flinches, which is nice. Always nice. And Fiery Wrath flinches. So everything, both moves I'm firing off can flinch. And that's pretty awesome. Plus, depending on the super effective move, we get faster. We can potentially also like sub up on something that doesn't do a lot of damage to us. And be even more threatening. So a lot of things going well for us here. So I'm excited to hopefully get this set to work. Galarian Moltres is really awesome, and it's going to be a lot of fun to use. Next up, we're bringing back Genkai this week. Genkai did so much work last week, so we might as well give her another go. Close Combat, Stone Edge, Knockoff, U-Turn. Same move set. Pretty much almost the same spread. Outspeeding the base 100s in Mew and below, which is going to be very awesome. Close Combat hits a lot of members of this team incredibly hard. There's only a few resistances to it. A few more resistances than last time, but the things that don't resist it are not appreciating it. Stone Edge deals with a lot of those resistances. Hits things like Gyarados really hard. Butterfree gets O-Code. Yveltal takes a lot more damage from the Stone Edge. Also, gets good chip damage on other things. And then Knockoff is there for things like the Jellicent and the Mew to get rid of their items and nuke through those. And then, of course, U-Turn so that we can not only get some chip damage off, but get that nice, juicy regenerator recovery, which is always good. So, this thing just straight up, it's always good to have, and I'm really excited to have it. But most importantly now, we get on to the main character of the show. We have Yusuke, the Silvally Fire this week. Obviously holding the Fire Memory, Archaea System for the ability, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Multi-Attack, and Parting Shot. We have enough speed to outpace a max speed Gyarados, which is obviously important. We have 248 HP and then 116 into attack. So the attack investment gives us a 50% chance to OHKO a maxed Butterfree with multi-attack. That's why we have the multi-attack as well. Just in case he wants to go for like a parting shot in front of our face, we can still potentially OHKO him with the multi-attack anyways, which is good. Multi-attack also does just a little bit more damage to other things. a lot of things on the team. But then we also have the Flamethrower because it does more to Kartanas. For example, if they are an Okaberry Kartana, which could be a thing, even a max attack or a multi-attack has a chance to not Oko it. But Flamethrower guaranteed Okos it even through Okaberry. It still does like 170 min, so that's pretty wild. Then we have Thunderbolt to hit the Gyarados. I think it takes a little bit. It needs a little bit of chip damage. So, this thing could put in a lot of work against the team. Parting Shot is going to be important as well, because if I don't feel comfortable against certain things, I can just Parting Shot out against them, weaken them down, so that whatever I Parting Shot into can proceed to body them and not take too much damage on the way in either, which is very much important in my eyes. So, a lot of really cool stuff going on with this set. It also works as a good Kartana switch in as well, which is nice. So, very excited to test out Savali Fire in this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Wish us luck in the battle. It's going to be a fun one. But this is going to be it for now. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, I'm PokePrimer, and I'm signing off. Peace.